All right, Cassie, it's hard to believe that we are talking about possibly another round of weather, right?
Might be a loud morning again. Is it going to be that way?
Loud morning, loud overnight.
Okay.
After midnight, that's when we're going to start to get those storms going. Now, here in the metro, it could be a little bit later. We're talking between 2 and 3 o'clock. I think that's when those storms will get going, at least here in the metro.
All right, so get your dogs ready. Make sure they're prepared. We found ours in our room this morning. I was like, how'd you get in here? She found her way in.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get pretty loud. We're certainly going to have a lot of lightning, some thunder, but the bigger issue with these storms is really going to be the flooding, and that's a lot like what we had this past weekend. Storm trackers were out. Justin Rudisell, Lacey Swope, Hannah Scholl, they were covering these storms from the evening all the way through the next morning, and yeah, that was caused by lightning, obviously there in Newcastle, South OKC. I mean, all across the metro, we had a lot of wind, we had some hail, and just a lot of flooding. That was some of the biggest issue, and that's our concern for later tonight because we keep getting these rains, and at this point, the ground is just so saturated, it can hardly take any more, but we're going to see some more later tonight. Let's go to Links 1. I'm going to kind of show you again, looking at the storm reports from this past weekend. Here's all the wind reports. You can see where the little houses, those are the flooding reports, and a lot of that was just here in central Oklahoma. And to note one surprise, we're almost at 7 inches for the month of July, and we're only 10 days in, so we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the days to come. Looking at Storm Shield 9, we have some storms over parts of Colorado, moving into Kansas, and eventually these are just going to continue to slide off to the south and east, so moving into the Panhandle later this evening. However, we also have this boundary to the south. That's going to be lifting north overnight tonight, and that's going to help to initiate even more storms, especially in parts of southern and central Oklahoma. But in the meantime, things are nice and quiet. This is our Regency camera, part of our Lucky Star Skycam network. Mostly sunny, 86 degrees, the south wind at 8 miles an hour, but with a dew point of 70, it feels more like 91 degrees. Temperatures in the upper 80s across the north. We do have some upper 80s, low and even mid 90s still showing up along the Red River, with a south to southeast wind between about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Again, not really providing a whole lot of relief out there, and in the days ahead, it's looking hotter and more humid with maybe a little bit more wind, but it's certainly going to feel a lot more like summer around here, that's for sure. Just kind of looking at the big picture, you can kind of see where the jet stream is. Well, we're going to stay in this northwest flow for a while. Now, we're still going to have some dry days in there, don't get me wrong, but as we get back into the weekend, we're still going to be in this pattern where we're going to see several more chances of rain and storms. So for this evening, here comes the storms that will be moving into the Panhandle late this evening and into tonight. Eventually, some of those will be crossing the border, and then eventually overnight tonight, they will be moving into the metro. So stopping the clock between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, north central, and parts of southern Oklahoma will be seeing some storms, but they're going to be ramping up shortly after that. A lot of these storms will become severe, with wind and hail being the threats, but also flooding is going to be the even bigger concern that we're expecting as the storm trackers are going to continue to track it from western Oklahoma all the way into the metro. And then eventually, this is your morning commute, 7 o'clock. We're still expecting rain and storms to be around, but shortly after that, by very late morning, early afternoon, a lot of the rain and storms will be winding down, and it looks like it's going to be a quieter later afternoon. As far as rainfall is concerned, looking at some of the latest data, now it's showing, again, earlier it was showing less than an inch, but some locations obviously seeing more than that. Now it's trying to bring in anywhere from 2 to as much as around 4 inches in parts of central and south central Oklahoma. So for this evening, we are expecting storms to eventually move into the Panhandle, but overnight and into tomorrow morning, they're going to be a lot more likely in central, southern, southwestern Oklahoma. Any one of these storms will be capable of becoming severe, with up to golf ball size hail, wind gusts of 65, and flooding is certainly going to be concerned, especially in central and parts of south central and southwest Oklahoma. As far as winds are concerned, I think here in Oklahoma City, at most maybe 65 miles an hour, but where we could see wind gusts higher than that, I think that would stay confined mostly to southwest Oklahoma. We could still see up to golf ball size hail, but I think that would be a little bit more isolated. I think more than anything, it's going to be a wind and flooding event. Overnight tonight, temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s and low 70s, and then tomorrow afternoon, once we get the rain out of here, we have the potential of making it into the low 90s, a southeast wind between 10 to 20, mid and upper 90s across north and also in southwest Oklahoma. By Wednesday afternoon, a little bit warmer for everyone, 96 in Oklahoma City, upper 90s, low 100s in the southwest, 95 in Ponca City, and 97 in Stillwater. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we have another chance of rain and storms. So right now, overall chances do look low in the metro. And as we get into Thursday and Friday, even the storm chances that we have those days, I think it's going to be mainly in eastern Oklahoma until we get to later on this weekend. Those storm chances start to ramp back up.